So this week's weather, as you would expect, has been a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of snow, a lot of rain. We've had a lot of rain. And I can now see where my garlic is planted. And later will be, I'm not 100% sure, probably onions. I've got to expand my potatoes, so probably onions in here. It still looks frozen and swampy and certainly not workable, but I can see it. So inside I am. Here's my Malabar spinach. It's coming along. Can't wait to try that, actually. And here I have planted my Brussels sprouts as I have to start those indoors or they won't make it, as well as my celery and leeks. And I've got onions in the house also, which I haven't shown here. It's more Brussels sprouts. And these are some potatoes, which I'm going to talk about. So 2 weeks ago, I planted some bean-sized purple Peruvian potatoes I pulled out of the garden last season, and for some reason kept them. I don't know why. They're the ones you take out so they don't come up through your garden next year, but you can't do anything with them. They're tiny and you throw them out. I didn't throw them out. So I experimented and put them in here. My lighting's not good. So here's what the poor wee little discarded potato things look like before I put them in. Well, I wasn't apparently being the sharpest tool in the garden shed, shall we say, because I've got 9 or 10 plants popped up here. They were so small I didn't even think. One of them was larger, and that's this one here in the middle, and I expected him to pop up. He had chitted, and a couple of the smaller ones also had chitted, but I did not expect. I thought they would just not amount to anything. But keeping true to the original experiment, I should pull some of these out because they're never going to make it in this pot. But hey, it's an experiment. It's for fun. So because these are long season potatoes, I'm going to hill them up in effect. And top up, I've got some soil here, and get moving on that. And the other thing that I'm going to do today, though not all of them, is my celery. Celery is something that in my shorter climate I must start. That's one plant I must start inside if I want my celery. So I have the pink Chinese celery and just a regular Utah celery, and I'm going to pot those on. Won't bore you with that, but I'm just going to do some of them also because I don't want to bore myself with it either. So I'm not going to spend all day. There's an awful lot in here, and I overplant in case some don't make it, because my weather, it could snow for a week once my last frost date comes. One never knows on a coastal climate. So I'm going to go ahead and just top these up, and we'll see where these crazy fellas go. 2 weeks growth though. It's amazing. Here I'm showing off my really fancy tool. So I've just mixed together some good potting soils, really, to make sure it's a loose type also, and certainly no nitrogen. Potatoes will just grow leaves if you do that, which mine look like they're doing that, but I swear it was just regular compost in there. I just want to show you my purple Peruvian potatoes. Exactly 6 months, pretty much to the day. Get some out. I kept some just to see how well they'd last and do. And they're not supposed to be the longest keepers. Now they're looking worse for wear, but they're not rotten. They've only been kept in my kitchen, in my pantry, starting to chit, but and wrinkly. But I'm just surprised that they're still with me. I fibbed. I'm showing you actually a bit of my potting on. Another high-tech tool. Knives and spoons. Now you can avoid this whole potting on stage with the celery if you have grow lights, but I do not have them. So knowing that my seedlings will get a bit leggy in my windows, I just put them in a tray with no drainage actually, knowing that I will prick them out. I'm just going to water them from the bottom, so I just keep putting it in until I can see that it's soaked up. This is just some summer savory. I'm just wondering whether to pot that on. I'll see. This is my mosh or corn salad. This is my Dutch. And this other one here is my French. The Dutch seems to be doing so much better. I'm just testing these in the house. And here's my lemon tree. It's really growing. And I know the science behind it says that a seed from the grocery store will not produce lemons. But then there's so many people who say they do. I've seen pictures of lemon trees in Newfoundland they swear grew from seeds. Let me know your thoughts down below. Of course, it's just another silly experiment I had to do.
So finally, the last thing I'm going to do is pot some ginger. So I'll just show you what I'm doing here.
So let me get a good one. So these little nodes, okay, the ginger's attached like this. These little nodes are what you want to cut, apparently. I'm no authority on this. And this was one of the big nodes. Nodules, whatever. We call them ginger root, but of course it's a rhizome, so that's what you want to grow from. So this is, not sure if these are going to even, they're very sad looking ginger. It was all that's left in the grocery store. There was nothing in the grocery store under the current situation, of course, but I wanted to try some. So you just stick her in, not too deep, and some even leave the little nodes sticking out. I think I'll just cover it a little bit. I'm going to put 3 in this little pot. They really grow straight up anyway. The rhizomes, if you were in a warmer climate and they had a long time to grow, they spread sideways, horizontal. Mine aren't going to have that time to do that at all, so it doesn't really matter. They're just going to kind of grow straight up, and we'll see what we get. It'll likely, for me, be what they call green ginger, which has a milder, lighter, pleasant flavor. Not as strong and well pronounced as the cured ones that we get in the grocery store, but it will be fun to see what I get. So very lightly, you can see the tops. It takes a long time for them to grow. Ginger's a long growing plant, so maybe in 4 weeks maybe I'll see some little shoots, hopefully. I'm going to soak this really well with water in a good draining pot, and I'll keep you posted on if whatever happens to my ginger.